Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. Magnifico! I'm just a...
Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Ardbeg Galileo from 1999. Now I can't help it, when I hear Galileo I think of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Now I recently reviewed Ardbeg Black, Ardbeg Dark Cove. I did a review of the Ardbeg 10, and I've got a few more Ardbegs that I'm going to be reviewing in upcoming videos. I have an eye out for some of the older Ardbegs that may be a little bit more challenging to get a hold of, and yet without going too crazy on breaking the bank. The problem is a lot of them are a lot more available, say, over in the UK than they are here in the United States, but if you're going to have them shipped over from the UK, you're going to be spending not only extra money on shipping, but also on tariffs. So I'm hunting around here in the United States to see if I can get some that aren't going to be too expensive. And when I found this one for $200 plus shipping, so it was probably around $225 with shipping and handling, I had to pull the trigger. Now, before I get into this, here are my notes on this whiskey. The Ardbeg 1999 Galileo was released to celebrate an experiment in which some Ardbeg spirit being sent up into space to study the effect of zero gravity on maturation. It was then aged in first fill bourbon barrels and Marsala casks in 1999. It is bottled at 49% alcohol by volume, and current prices run anywhere between $158 and $325.
Ardbeg has conquered Earth. Next step, the moon?
Now, this one's opening up really nice. I currently have the bottle down below the shoulder, right about where my finger's at. And those Marsala casks are really showing through. It has a sweetness on the nose. Reminds me of sort of like a melted Snickers bar. I got some grilled pineapple, some lighter caramels, a little bit of salty sea breeze, definitely some lighter chocolate, a hint of a nuttiness, a little bit of nougat from the Snickers bar. The peat and smokiness, I would say, in comparison to other Ardbegs, it's actually quite moderate. Perhaps even a little bit less than the Ardbeg 10. Alright, on the palate. Texturally, it's really silky. The edges are really rounded. It's velvety going across the palate. Has a real nice development. It starts off with that grilled pineapple, then transitions into the caramels, and then I get a little bit of that salty chocolate and hints of peat character. The peat and smoke on this one is really quite tame in comparison to a lot of other Ardbegs. It's also a little bit sweeter than I would say a lot of Ardbegs. Maybe sort of in the camp of the Ardbeg Drum Committee release, if you've had that one, but it isn't quite as tropical, although it does have that sort of pineapple character to it, whereas the Ardbeg Drum really has that sort of pineapple and coconut character to it. But it's sort of in that family of flavors. Quite seductive, and if you know anybody, they're not really into peat, but they can take a little bit. It's sort of in that camp. So I think in terms of intensity of peat, maybe like some Obens or Highland Parks, although definitely it's not in the character of those whiskeys. But if you understand your peated whiskeys and how intense they can be or not be, in my, you get what I'm talking about. Nice complexity. Nice long finish. And it ends sweet. A lot of Ardbegs finish with a mouthful of peat and smoke that sort of lingers, sort of the campfire barbecue character. This doesn't. This finishes with the caramels and the chocolates. Now, I really like this whiskey. When I think of Ardbeg, I tend to want to put the pedal to the metal and put my foot down, you know, and get a little bit more intense peat and smoke. So maybe this isn't 100% where I like my Ardbegs, and yet it's still a really delicious whiskey. The greatest strengths of this whiskey, I think, are in its texture and a sort of silky, round feeling to it. The sharp edges of, say, of an Ardbeg 10 have actually been rounded off. And it's very sort of glossy and seductive in its character. I would say that's probably one of the greatest strong points of this whiskey. Now, what would I give it in terms of a score? I'm going to go a solid 90 points, 90 points. The selling point on this one really is the texture, I would say, more than the flavors. And this is going to be a whiskey in which, if you're sort of in the mood for a little bit more sweetness, say like the Ardbeg NO, you know, which is a little bit sweeter as well, because that's made with that Pedro Jimenez cask, then this is what you're going to be looking for. Now, $200, would I spend $200 to get another bottle? Yes, I would. More than $200? No, I wouldn't. If you're an Ardbeg fan like I am, and you just want to explore more of Ardbeg, and you can get this one in for that $200 level, I would definitely jump on it. Now, I've seen it on sale for £400 and more in the UK. Of course, you got to do the British pounds to US currency translation and what that works out to the United States. But I definitely would not spend more than $200 on this whiskey. Alrighty, that's it for this review. If you subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe, and if you want to be notified when I post a new video or go live, you're going to want to ring that bell. Alright, until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.